Dear Thai, dear noble community, dear fourfold Sangha, threefold Sangha. Our sisters are probably doing this in their Hamlet. This afternoon, very lucky we have an opportunity to hear from our brothers and sisters here. And the intention of our community was to give some space to hear from OI practitioners, lay friends who've been practicing and have dedicated a lot part of their life to the Dharma, to practicing, to the Sangha, to building community, building refuge for society, for others. So this afternoon is a kind of all our afternoon activities. We want to allow that space for sharing from lay friends. For me, I feel very, how do you say, how do you call it? I have a lot of gratitude for all the OI members who are practicing out there, building Sangha, and we know it's hard, it's tough to be in an environment where this, the energy is very, in the city, in the places you are, or collecting people who don't live together, but try your best to build community anyways. Here already we live together and we're doing our best to build community, and I imagine it could be challenging as well with people who are, coming and going, the intimacy and so on. So I always feel very grateful when I see a practitioner and the dedication to build a place like that for others. And as monastics, we are also order of Interbeing members. When we take the precept, the monastic precept, we also take the order of Interbeing precepts. So in a way, it is an order where it's both, like you hear Sister Chung Kong share this morning, Thai's intention in the beginning was to create a lay order that's kind of like monastic. So it's a kind of merging between lay life and monastic life. Those who really want to put more energy into the Dharma, and also build a family and have a livelihood outside. So this is an order that I feel very grateful for Thai for bringing in to life, giving birth to this order. When I was a young, high school, right into college, I first read the 14 Mindfulness Training. It was handed out on a sheet of paper, and I didn't bother so much with the rest, but I remember reading the first 2, 3, and that inspired me a lot through my college years, because we had a lot of ideologies about things. We had a school newspaper, and we criticized a lot, but we forgot about like our own dogmatism in the student, who are like, we think we're so innovative, but we're also stuck as well. So I remember reading that, I was like, wow, we got to watch out. So that's just my own coming into contact with the precept, even before knowing the 5 mindfulness training or the Sangha and so on. Just reading a text that really speaks to the heart. And we'll have an opportunity to look at the texts and the trainings more as the week unfolds. But this afternoon, mainly just to hear from a very diverse group of brothers and sisters up here who, have been practicing for many years, and I feel very honored to be, I feel very lucky to have them come here. And so I wanted to, I think maybe it would be okay if you each introduce yourself. Is it okay? Yeah. So that way, and then share, and then maybe each can share for about 8 8 minutes or 10 minutes. Yeah, 8 to 10 minutes, just first round and see. And so if you allow me, I will keep track of time, just so that we are more, you know, aware of that. I know how that is, and it's very helpful to have someone remind us. So with that, please, I don't know who's going to share first, but I pass the mic, and thank you for being here with us, dear sisters and brothers.
Dear respected Thai, dear beloved family, I would like to have just less than 1 minute to connect myself with all my friends sitting here. I know that they are as nervous as I am. So we just want to hold hands. So that we can speak as one body. So when I speak, I do not just speak from myself, but from all of us. Feel good? Less nervous? And also, we can visualize that we are connected with all the family members sitting here in front of us. It is like an umbilical cord that connects siblings together. Thank you, brother and sister. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Yesterday, I shared a story with my family group, and I want to share it with the larger Sangha. So when I received 14 mindfulness training, maybe 37 or 36 years ago, there was a tradition in Plum village that when you receive a training, a tree, a small plant will be planted on this land. So at the time I was ordained, probably a few years, 4 or 5 years, Sister Chen Khong bought 4 or 5 plants and plants around on this land. Some of them were planted near the bamboo garden, in the bamboo garden. And unfortunately, because of the growth of the bamboo and the shuffling around of rocks, those plants disappear. But my plant was lucky enough. It was a pine, a kind of dwarf pine. It does not grow very tall. It has a color of white, green-white. It's near the bookshop. If you stand in the front of the bookshop, it's on your right, that plant. When it was planted, it's just like that. Now you can see it's very tall. Not very tall because it's a dwarf pine. But it grows very stronger. I consider that pine as my twin. It's like I was reborn when I received the training with the tree, the twin. And my twin have been standing there steadily, solidly till now. And my twin is luckier than I, because I got back to lay life. And the tree continued the monastic life. The tree has been benefiting the energy of Thai, the energy of the monks and nuns, the energy of thousands and thousands of participants coming here for retreats. And the tree benefits from that peaceful and sacred energy. So whenever I come to Plum Village, I always go to that tree, stand in front of it, and then talk to it. Dear brother, please hold me in your heart and support me in time that I have difficulties, in time I have to go through stormy moments in my lay life. So that is another OI member. Now, yesterday, when we talk among ourselves, what to say here, and then we think that, maybe we talk about the meaning to be an OI member. And each one of us will share a little bit what we think about that. And then you may contribute and share with us, so that we enrich what we thought to be the meaning of an OI member. It could be very rich, very large. For me, a funny story first. An OI member, a number of years ago, an OI member shared with me that, it's good to be an OI member. I can go anywhere in the world. I have a place to stay overnight. Was it great? But there's something very real and true in it. It's brotherhood and sisterhood. When you come to Brazil or Italy and you see an OI member, it's your brother, it's your sister. So as a brother and a sister, you welcome your brother and sister to come and to stay your place. So being an OI member probably give us a chance to cultivate our brotherhood and sisterhood. And if we do not come to practice with one another often, how do we cultivate our brotherhood and sisterhood? So, as we become a member of the order Interbeing, we have a chance to spend more time with brothers and sisters. Spend more time. We are not as lucky as the monastic. They are true brothers and sisters because they live in the same roof, big roof. The roof of the upper Hamlet, the roof of the lower Hamlet, and the roof of Plum Village. Big roof. But as lay people, we are separated from one another by location. We don't have a chance to live 24 hours a day together. So we need to spend as much time as possible together, practicing together, having meals, walking together. Otherwise, we will have a superficial brotherhood and sisterhood. And without such a strong bonding between ourselves. How can we support one another when we go into life of our service to society? So initially, Thầy created the order of Interbeing so that activists, social service, people, activists, and people like Sister Chân Không can have companion on the path, and in a weekend or a rest day, they can get together and practice sitting, walking, mindful breathing, so that they can recharge themselves. Otherwise, we will get lost and we will get exhausted in our work to help, to serve our society. So I think that's I have enough to say, and thank you. My name is Tu. My Dharma name is Chân Trí, True Wisdom. Thank you.
Kính bạch sư ông, dear respected Thầy, dear brothers and sisters. My name is Vin. I'm coming from the same Sangha that Tu does. Tu is a brother and a teacher, a friend, a close friend, always there for me. I'm very grateful for Tu's presence and the Sangha's presence. I started the practice with Thầy in 1993, 23 years ago. And I came to the practice because at a certain point in time, life does not really have any meaning. All of the glory of lay life did not have any meaning at some point in time of my life. And I knew at that point in time I need something short of killing myself. So I was lucky enough to find the Bodho Compassion Sangha in the DC area, and I joined them. It was such a fresh breeze into my life to enter the Sangha and to learn all of the ways to come back to myself and start learning, start discover about what's inside of me that made me feel that way. I joined the order in 1995. When I came to the practice, that was the purpose. The purpose was not to join the order, was not to receive the lamp being a Dharma teacher. I joined the order because I started to realize that the pain body in myself has imprisoned me. I have lost all of my freedom in thinking and in living. So that's the reason why I came to the practice. And joining the order is like some fuel that the Sangha saw that I need at that point in time. It was wonderful. Many of us joined the order on that day. And the tree planting tradition, at that point did not happen. So we did not have any trees planted. But Thai actually planted many trees in the Washington, D.C. area, because I think more than 8 of us received the training that day. So the practice going along, joining the order, fueled it. The fire in my heart goes stronger. And in 2001, I received a lamp from Thai. Along with that, when I was told that I will be receiving the lamp, I did not really think that I deserve it. But through the love with the Sangha, I could feel that receiving the lamp is a way to further fuel the fire in my heart, to go further on the practice, and to be able to share that with more and more people, pretty much stepping in the same step that Tu and Anh Hương, my teachers in the local Sangha, have been doing. But receiving the lamp has the burden of it, has expectation, my own expectation of myself. And again, with the very clear Sangha eyes, I was very fortunate, by the way, I was very fortunate to be in the Sangha, of which the eyes are so sharp and clear. And the Sangha eyes could see so many things. It could see that I got stuck. At certain point in time in the practice, I got stuck. And it has tried many different means to help me unstuck. And still, through several years, I still got stuck. So, with so much love and compassion for me, the Sangha at some point in time, about maybe more than 5 years ago, hold the brown jacket and the lamp for me temporarily. So at that point in time, when I go to retreat, I don't bring my brown jacket. And if I was asked, what is your Dharma name, I would go back to the lineage name when I received the 5 trainings, which is mutual understanding of the heart, Tâm Giao Cảm. I don't use my Dharma name when I received the 14 training, which is true shining insight. And then during that time, that point in time, the Sangha, at my request, performed shining the light on my practice for a year and a half. Yeah. So during the time that the Sangha hold the brown jacket and the lamp for me, the light of the Sangha eyes was shining the light on my practice. I would be lying to you if I said that I felt good being shown the light too. I felt really, really bad for a long time, during that whole period of time. But one thing that at that point in time, one thing that stuck in my mind and is still always reverberating throughout all of the years I practiced with the Sangha is what I call my personal mantra is the Sangha loves me. That's one thing that stuck with me all the time since I started practicing with the Sangha in 93. And that mantra helps me to continue looking, digging, contemplating on my practice to do, to go through the breakthrough that the Sangha is trying to help me. That period is always alive in me. It's alive because the Sangha love is so deep. So for me, being an OI is to continue to stick to the Sangha through thick or thin. Through our practicing life, if we truly go really deep into the practice, we will encounter difficult moments. And if you are lucky as I am, to have a wonderful Sangha who loves unconditionally, who understand me enough, who loves me enough to shine the light on the different corners of my heart that I refuse to see. I refuse to see them for a long time. And without the Sangha's help, I could not have been reached. I could not have touched those body of pains inside my heart. So being a Sangha to me, just stick to it. Come to it whether you have resentment, whether you don't like Sangha, you don't like certain members, you don't like the Dharma teachers there, you misunderstand something, but keep coming to it. Keep coming to a Sangha. If a true Sangha is going to help you, you will be fine. You will understand you more. You will be more liberated. You will be more free. You'll be more light. And for me, that's the meaning of being an OI. Thank you.
Donc je disais, la première fois que je suis arrivée au village des Pruniers, c'était en 1995.
The first time I arrived in Plum Village was 1995.
Et j'étais en assez grande souffrance, c'est-à-dire que j'avais vécu des choses que je ne comprenais pas.
I suffered a lot because there were a lot of things I discovered that I didn't understand.
Et j'avais besoin de comprendre. J'étais un peu révoltée contre la vie et j'avais besoin de comprendre.
And I needed to understand these things. I was having trouble in my life and I really needed to understand them.
Et le premier enseignement que j'ai entendu de Thaï, c'était comprendre, c'est aimer. Aimer, c'est comprendre. Et je me suis dit, là, je suis vraiment au bon endroit. C'est vraiment là que je dois être.
And the first thing I heard Thai say was, to love is to understand is to love. And I knew I was in the right place.
Et j'ai reconnu immédiatement Thaï comme étant mon maître. C'était très, très fort pour moi.
And I knew that Thai was my teacher. It was really strong for me.
Donc, je suis venue très souvent au village des Pruniers et j'ai pris les 5 entraînements en 1997.
And I came a number of times to Plum Village, and I took the 5 mindfulness trainings in 1997.
Donc, j'ai continué à venir très souvent. Nous avons construit une sangha à Genève et j'ai pris les 14 entraînements en 2001.
And I came a number of times, and we built a sangha in Geneva, and I received the 14 mindfulness trainings in 2001.
Et pour moi, le fait de recevoir les 14 entraînements à la pleine conscience, c'était naturel, en fait. C'était une suite, c'était une continuation. C'était vraiment parce que je me sentais ici dans ma famille spirituelle.
And so for me, receiving the 14 mindfulness trainings was very natural. It just flowed. It just seemed like a continuation. And because I really felt like I had met my spiritual family.
Parce que dans mon expérience de la pratique, donc le fait de revenir à soi lorsque j'ai des difficultés, par exemple des émotions difficiles, négatives.
Because returning to oneself, because I had started, I had lots of emotions that came up, difficult emotions that had come up.
Donc je pratique comme a expliqué ce matin Sœur Elénie, c'est-à-dire que je peux sentir, quand j'ai des émotions négatives, là je peux sentir mon cœur bat assez rapidement. Et donc le fait de reconnaître ce qui se passe en le nommant et l'accueillir en l'embrassant, c'est-à-dire en étant bienveillante, sans jugement, j'ai pu faire cette expérience de transformation peu à peu.
And over the years, I've been able to have this experience little by little of taking care of the emotions and feeling my heart beating a lot right then, but been able little by little to transform.
Donc j'ai pu faire ces expériences de transformation peu à peu qui m'aident à justement ouvrir mon cœur et ouvrir ma compréhension. Et ça me donne une force.
So I've been having this experience of transformation and feeling my heart open little by little, and I'm feeling a certain power.
Donc, comme expliquait Sœur Elénie ce matin, c'est exactement ça, la pleine conscience qui se transforme en concentration, qui se transforme en vision profonde et qui amène cette compréhension de ce qui se passe, des choses, me donne une grande force.
And so as the sister was explaining this morning, this mindfulness, which then transmutes into concentration, which then moves into insight, it's really becoming quite a power.
Et cette force, en fait, ça se transforme en aspiration pour pouvoir aider. Moi, je vois ça comme deux mouvements. Un mouvement d'abord qui va à l'intérieur et ensuite un mouvement qui va vers l'extérieur. Cette force me force quelque part à aller vers l'extérieur.
And this force, it builds so that it first it's two things. First, it starts on the inside, and then it comes out and helping me to and making me want to go more to the outside to help others.
Parce qu'en pratiquant donc la pleine conscience dans le quotidien, donc de ces entraînements, ces 14 entraînements à la pleine conscience, ça m'ouvre aussi sur les besoins autour de moi, sur les besoins d'aide dans le monde.
And this mindfulness and practicing the 14 mindfulness trainings, it leads towards becoming aware of the needs of those around me and in the world.
Et par exemple, ça fait 1 an que je vis ici, autour du village des Pruniers, proche de la communauté. Et j'ai fait une expérience dans une école à Sigoulès, qui est un petit village juste ici à côté. Et j'ai...
For example, I've been living near Plum village now for about a year, and I've been at a school nearby.
Et j'ai vraiment pris conscience que c'est vraiment là qu'il faut commencer à aider, à porter une aide chez les enfants. J'ai vraiment pris conscience que les enfants sont très stressés, très surmenés déjà, depuis tout petit, depuis 7-8 ans, et que les professeurs, les enseignants sont aussi très, très surmenés, très surchargés, très stressés.
And I've realized that this is really where I need to help, because I can see that even the children of 6 or 7 years old are very, very stressed, and their teachers are also very stressed. So this is really where help is needed.
Donc l'expérience que j'ai faite ici m'a poussée. C'est comme si je me sentais poussée. Je suis partie chez moi au mois de mai à Genève, et j'ai rencontré des professeurs, sont venus spontanément et pour créer des groupes justement de pratique et d'écoute, de partage avec des professeurs, et qui se posent des questions, comment agir dans leur classe avec les enfants.
And I went back to Geneva in May, and various teachers came and discussed discussed and shared how to do something about this, how to heal.
Donc maintenant, j'ai vraiment conscience que tout ce que j'ai reçu ici, toute la pratique que j'ai reçue ici, je dois l'amener à l'extérieur. Je dois l'amener aussi bien dans les sanghas, parmi les sanghas différentes en Suisse romande, et dans les écoles. Voilà, c'est vraiment là que j'ai envie de me diriger, c'est là que j'ai envie de continuer ma pratique. Toujours en faisant ce mouvement, en fait, pour moi, c'est un mouvement intérieur-extérieur, intérieur-extérieur. Et plus je...
And so this is where I see my work to be, both with the various teachers in schools and also with the various sanghas in Switzerland. And I really see that this is what I need to do. Then it's a movement of going inside and then coming outside, going inside and coming outside.
Voilà, donc, et le mouvement vers l'extérieur, en fait, se fait tout seul, ça vient tout seul. C'est pas, c'est comme j'expliquais tout à l'heure, c'est cette force qui a besoin de s'exprimer, et je la laisse s'exprimer là où il faut, et je rencontre les gens qu'il faut pour pouvoir exprimer cette énergie et de partager ma pratique. En tous les cas, je suis tellement reconnaissante envers Thaï et envers le village des Pruniers pour avoir reçu cette pratique qui est vraiment transformatrice.
And this force just comes from within, and it just it wants to express itself. It wants to come out on its own, and so I'm very grateful and I know this is what I have to do, just let it come out. And I'm very grateful to Plum Village for having given me the teachings and the ability to do this.
Dear respected Thai, dear Sangha, first of all, I'd like to thank the Brother Phap Rong and the OI members to give me the opportunity to share a bit about what it means to be an OI member from the Malaysian perspective. I'm Kim. I'm from Malaysia. I'm actually quite a young Buddhist. Before I was a Buddhist, in fact, I explored a lot in terms of spirituality, mainly to try to improve myself, because I see that I have a lot of shortcomings. I have a bad temper. I'm not patient. And when I got married and have a family with wife, with my first child, I see that my habit energy is not bringing happiness to myself and also to my family. So now when I share that with friends, they say, "No, Kim, from how we know you, you are very patient. You are a good person." I told them, yes, maybe to a lot of people that is normal. You know, most of us, we do have bad habits. We have short-tempered. We are impatient, right? Things like that. But somehow I feel that this is I need to do something to change myself, and because of that, I search around. I even joined the church. I brought my family members to attend church, and I even attended Bible study. I joined there are many self-development programs to try to improve myself. Until in year 2007, I had the opportunity through one program to get to know Buddhism. A friend brought me to one Buddhist association, and that was my first exposure to get to know Buddhism in 2007. So I'm very young as a Buddhist. And because my background is very, all the time I study science and so on, I would say, I have the kind of scientific thinking. I need something to be logical, to make sense, things like that. And of course, first of all, I'm actually open to all teachings, may it be Christianity or any other religion, right? But through the searching, until before I came to know about Buddhism, I see that somehow the teaching does not really help me to really transform, right? To really change from the root. So, and until I get to know Buddhism, I started to read a lot, and I find this is the religion that will help me, right? And at the same time, I was very lucky that near the place I stay, there is a new Buddhist society set up. And that was in 2007 also. And I get to, step in and join the Sangha there and practice. So through that, in 2009, there was a brother in the same society, and he is the first person in Malaysia to know the Plum village tradition. I think many of us know him. He's Brother Kenan. So through him, he invited Brother Phapkam to come to our center, and we together organized a day of mindfulness retreat. And after attending the first retreat, somehow I find that I have a very strong affinity to this practice, right? And before that, from 2007 to 2009, I had the opportunity to be exposed to other tradition, other Buddhist tradition. In Malaysia, we have a lot of choices in terms of Buddhist teaching and practices. We have Theravada tradition, we have the Tibetan tradition, we have the Pure Land tradition, and I would say Malaysian Buddhists, they are kind of lucky. They can shop around. And in their life, they are not so stressful. That is why when Brother Phapkam first time came to Malaysia, he saw all the people in the street, the family. Yeah, okay, you are not stressful, you know. You all can relax. So in such an environment where there are many choices in Buddhist teaching and practices, somehow it depends very much on our own affinity with the kind of teaching and practices. But after being exposed to the different tradition, and after that, to get to know Plum village tradition, both Brother Kenan and me, we have the opportunity to take a deeper look in Thai teaching and also the teaching of other tradition. And of course, we also practice other tradition. That's why we know we can get a deeper perspective in terms of making comparison. And we found that there are some fine details where when we talk about meditation practices, those fine details are very important. And I think in Thai's book, The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching, Thai also pointed out a lot. Those 5 points where there are misunderstanding, there are misinterpretation of Buddha's teaching. So because of that, we have the strong energy to want to bring the correct teaching, the correct practices to the people, to the Buddhists in Malaysia. And because of that strong energy, in 2010, in fact, we invited Thai and Sangha. 72 of them came to Malaysia. They were on a tour, on an Asia tour. Malaysia is one of the countries. Came to conduct a retreat and a few other programs, Day of Mindfulness, Public Talk. And that gives the opportunity of exposure of Thai teaching to Malaysia. And immediately after that, in 2011, because of our strong love in Thai teaching, we set up a practice center just near our residence. It's a small center. And after a retreat, when we set up the center, there are good response. You know, a lot of people came and joined us to practice. But after a while, they just, the number of people just reduced. And the feedback we got is that they find that the practice of Plum Village tradition is not so serious, because Thai teaching is very, I would say, very balanced. In Malaysia, we also have Jain tradition, who practices very the orthodox way of practicing Jain. Sitting, a lot of sitting, Kong-an, very serious Kong-an practice, right? Things like that. But Plum Village is also a Jain tradition, but it's very moderate. It's very balanced, right? Thai teaches to touch joy, to nourish joy, to touch suffering. And that is so important, especially for people who have so much suffering before they can go deeper into the practice. So we see a good balance. And always we see that Thai teaching in all the retreat, in all the books Thai wrote, it contains both the fundamental teaching as well as the deep teaching for people who have who are ready to go deeper and practice. It's all there. It's all there. So there's the beautiful part of Thai teaching. And that gives us a lot of energy to want to bring this practice to the community, to the Buddhist community in Malaysia. And especially when I started to practice the Plum Village tradition, I find that it's so helpful and it's so effective. When we practice correctly, it's so effective in terms of, to take care of suffering, to be able to transform ourselves. And because of that, in a short time, in 2011, in fact, in 2010, I took up the 5 mindfulness training, and in 2011, both Brother Cannon and myself took up the 14 mindfulness training. So in just 1 year. And mainly because we have the love for Thai teaching and also the heart, the deep inspiration, the deep intention to bring the correct teaching to the community in Malaysia. Yeah. And being an OI member, of course, it gives us more energy to practice deeper. Because when we want to share the correct practices, first of all, we need to practice well. We need to have the correct understanding of Thai teaching. So that, I would say, being an OI member, the first thing that we are the one who first get the benefit, right? To be able to practice deeper and be able to share with others. And always by sharing with others, we learn at the same time.
dear Thai, dear Sangha. For me, the order of interbeing is really about loving. It has such a wonderful name, order of interbeing. That's really the base of everything, is understanding that we are part of a vast ocean of life. We're not separate. This beautiful ocean of life. And that's the ground of what we're doing as order members, is practicing to live out of that understanding. I feel like as I grew up in society, everything I learned was about me as a separate self. Like, I'm what's important in my life, and what I do, and how I look, and what I have. And all those things are what make me have a place in the world. And everybody else has the same understanding. So we're not meeting each other. We're all just looking at ourselves so much. And I think that creates a lot of fear and loneliness. That misunderstanding that we're separate and that we're the most important thing. Mm-hmm. It closes off our heart. So, especially to be a layperson and live in the world, even if I have the understanding one moment that I am part of this ocean of life, every day I'm being told, no, it's all about you, it's all about me. And I have to prove myself. And it keeps pulling you back into that life of isolation that has a lot of craving, looking for happiness, but not in really meaningful things. They don't offer you much depth in where to find your happiness. You find your happiness in a good meal, a lot of pleasures. And so that waters a lot of craving for things. And that just leaves you feeling empty. Mm. So, as a member of the Order of Interbeing, I've made a commitment to choose this deeper vision of the reality of life as the ground of how I live. And there's this wonderful part of being an order member where you commit to at least 60 days of mindfulness a year. Yeah. And that's what keeps your practice alive. Because you have to water it, this aspiration, because society is always watering the other seeds. And just like the sister was talking about today, we have these seeds in our consciousness, and whatever is touched and watered, whether we're doing it on purpose or just by what we see, it's growing. So this feeling of fear and isolation is always growing just by living in the world. And so we've committed to stopping often, to slow down and have the time to look at what's happening inside. So on my weekly day of mindfulness, I like to look back at the week and see, what was my week like? What was my experience? And then I can see, I see the seed of fear, grew in me on Monday when this happened. Yeah. And then it kind of made me suffer the rest of the week. Or I can see clearly my life and my mind. Because the happiness is not found in the things around me. Happiness is an experience that you have inside. When you don't have fear and you don't have craving, and you have some space so that you can actually feel your connection to the world and how beautiful it is. And you can be gentle in yourself. Because a lot of us are sort of beating ourselves up constantly. Yeah. We're not always kind in our thinking to other people, and we're not always kind in our internal dialogue. So this day of stopping gives me a moment to see what's happening in there. And then I like to pick a seed that I see is making me suffer and work on it. Work on its transformation, which would be a whole Dhamma talk. And I'm sure you'll learn a lot about that later. But it's a wonderful thing that we're a garden with all of these seeds, but none of them are permanent. No matter how strong they all are organic, and we can work with them. They can change. So we have this wonderful gift and freedom as a practitioner to start to create your own experience and create your own life through your meditation practice. Yeah. And then, of course, I water a lot of joy on that day. And I strengthen that seed in me of being present and of feeling connected to the world. And because I do that often enough, it carries over, of course, into my daily life, into my work, and my life with my children. And as an OI member, based on this understanding of interbeing, we see the whole world as our brothers and sisters. Yeah. And we're committed to bring this path of well-being, of non-fear, of loving to our brothers and sisters, to making it available